people, the whole parliament was stunned when MP Nikisha Burchell mentioned that some radio stations were getting tax write-off while others are struggling. The JLP's members were being hypocritical because they knew the member from St. James, MP Burchell, was speaking of Big Mama aka Mouthpiece Radio with Cliffy Cliffhanger.
Changing, newsrooms are shrinking, media houses are restructuring, and increasingly government itself has become one of the largest advertising clients, sustaining portions of the traditional media ecosystem. Every other advertisement on radio and TV is sponsored by a government agency, ministry, department. And strangely, government itself now appears to be attracting many of the very workers traditionally media houses are struggling to retain. We're told that one is being moved to JIS shortly. So the media, the government is okay with the media shrinking because they don't need that third estate to hold them to account. At the same time, concerns continue to emerge surrounding media sustainability, concerns around government advertising concentration. Some stations get more than others of the government's advertising spend. Some stations get hefty tax write-offs and others are struggling. And this raises important questions about public communication governance and the independence of media that must make you feel uncomfortable. Because across government today, communication spending has become Madam Speaker, there may have some protection, please, from the leader of government business acting. Madam Speaker, my time.
Members,
I want
please
protection
allow the
from the
member
Deputy House Speaker
to
Madam
have her
Speaker.
presentation. What did she say?
Madam Speaker, I'm not hearing you. You can rule in for protection.
Are you standing?
Point of order.
Is there?
Madam Speaker,
It's standing order.
on a point of order.
What's the point of order?
A very serious allegation was made by the Speaker. The Speaker said that a media house, the presenter said a media house was the beneficiary of massive write-offs, tax write-offs. She said a media house was the beneficiary of massive tax write-offs. Madam Speaker, I would like the Speaker to be clear, since she is presenter, to establish which media house has been the beneficiary of massive tax write-offs. Because, Madam Speaker, she has come to the house and cast a cloud over the entire media in Jamaica that they are benefiting from tax write-offs from the government, and there is no fact about it, and I needed to rule.
That's not the point of order. He is disrupting the presence. I see that here. Continue, man. Parliamentary privilege.
I needed that sip of water. Thank you for the opportunity.
Member, I'm not running your time. Please hold.
Thank you. Who are you talking about? Nation? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Anybody must be that point of order.
You weren't listening up to now. Just like Paris, a country suit. This is not Paris, this is a country suit.
What are we doing?
So, are you ready? Members, I'm allowing the member to go ahead. The question raised as a point of order in respect of an allegation made against a class of individuals or entity, which would be media houses. And in fact, if one is being claimed, no name was called, and therefore I'm ruling that the member continue, as the member would not have. Yes.
Madam Speaker, I'm asking for protection under Standing Order 40. And I hope that the leader of opposition government business can observe that. All right, so while we protect some, the Jamaica's institutions of communication, such as JIS and the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, whose very mandate is public communication, is being invested in. So Parliament and the public are entitled to ask, who has eyes on the total national communication spend across government? Every government, every agency, every department has a huge PR budget. And I raised that very question to the Information Minister during the Standing Finance Committee here, and she said she don't know how much money is being spent on information collectively across the government service. So where does duplication exist? What value for money oversight exists? And are taxpayers receiving maximum public benefit from these expenditures? Because if JIS and PBCJ exist, then we must honestly ask whether Jamaica is operating a coherent national communication framework or an increasingly fragmented political parallel communications architecture. And this matters because communication spending is not insignificant in a government heavily focused on PR. Yes. We see it even here in Parliament. Our ministers Prime ministers increasingly utilize external production agencies and firms and communication teams surrounding sectoral presentations and major announcements and giving nice pretty bags and then building and instead of building and strengthening the institutional capacity of PBCJ itself. So the issue is not whether government should communicate. Of course, government must communicate. The issue is whether state communication is being strategically coordinated, transparently managed, and institutionally grounded. Because government communication must outlive governments. Public information belongs to the people, not to personal algorithms or individual political branding messages around ministers themselves. And that is why Jamaica urgently needs a modern digital communication policy, a social media governance framework, an artificial intelligence policy, and stronger information management systems across government. Because, and I'll say it again for effect, because ministers and deputy speakers change, governments change, but public institutions remain. And transparency delayed too often becomes transparency denied. And ordinary Jamaicans continue to experience communication breakdowns in real life through poorly coordinated government systems. No NARA can solve poor governance. We saw this recently in programs such as Roofs, where many citizens struggle to even access clear information, proper updates, functioning help desks, and coherent communication pathways. That's why money still left unspent from Beryl and I come catch up Pamelisa money. That is not merely a public relations issue. That is governance infrastructure. Ultimately, this entire presentation, Madam Speaker, comes down to one central idea. Jamaica possesses extraordinary cultural power, but power without structure becomes leakage. Influence without ownership becomes exploitation. Talent without policy becomes vulnerability. And if Jamaica is serious about the future, then culture, creativity, entertainment, and information can no longer remain side conversations in national development. They must become central pillars of economic modernization itself, because culture is not decoration. Culture is infrastructure. And if we build it seriously, intentionally, and inclusively, then perhaps Jamaica will finally begin capturing the full value of the genius its people have always possessed. I thank you.
Well done, man. Well done, man.